Over 2,000 years ago, God approached humanity in the person of Jesus Christ. This event is known as the Incarnation, a moment in time when God became flesh and dwelt among us. The Creator approached His creation. While He was on earth, people approached Jesus for many different reasons. Some approached Him from a place of desperation, like the woman who had the blood-related illness for 12 years. She had exhausted all of her resources seeking care from many different physicians, but in the end, her condition had only worsened. She had heard rumors of Jesus and the miracles He performed. She heard He was coming to her town, so she decided in her desperation to push through the crowd that had pressed in around Him and touched the hem of His garment, having faith that even touching the cloth that hung from His body would heal her. Instantly, the woman was healed of her disease. Or the blind man named Bartimaeus, who sat begging at the entrance to Jericho. Jesus and His disciples were leaving the city. Bartimaeus heard the commotion and asked about it, and someone told him that Jesus was approaching. In his desperation, he cried out with a loud voice, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." The crowd around him tried to shame him and shut him up, but he cried out even louder, having nothing to lose. "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus approached him and asked what he could do for him. Bartimaeus replied, "Rabboni," meaning great teacher or master, "let me see again." To which Jesus responded, "Go, your faith has made you well." Others have approached him from a place of conviction or shame or guilt, like the thief on the cross who was crucified alongside Jesus. There were two criminals crucified with Jesus that day. One of the criminals mocked Jesus mercilessly, saying, if He is who He claims to be, the Christ, the Son of God, then He would save Himself. The other thief, overwhelmed by shame and guilt next to the perfection and holiness of Jesus, silenced him, saying, "Do you not fear God? We are receiving just punishment for our crimes. But this man is innocent. He's done nothing." He turned to Jesus and said, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." To which Jesus responded, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." Or like Peter, one of the disciples, when Jesus approached him on his fishing boat. Peter had been out fishing all day and caught nothing. Yet Jesus asked him to put the boat out one more time and lower the net for a catch. As you can imagine, Peter was exasperated, this being the last thing he wanted to hear. Nevertheless, he put the boat out, let the net down, and the catch of fish was so large that it began to sink their boat. They had to call partners over to share the weight and the distribution of the fish. After seeing this, Peter dropped to his knees in front of Jesus and said, "Depart from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man." Peter was convicted of his own unrighteousness and inadequacy next to the holiness of Jesus. But Jesus was quick to affirm him, saying, "Do not be afraid. From now on, you will be a fisher of men." Beyond approaching Jesus from a place of desperation or shame, there are those that approach Him from a place of curiosity or wonder. There was a wealthy man named Zacchaeus. He was a tax collector. One day, Jesus was passing through his town, and he wanted to know what all the fuss was about. So he made his way to the crowd, and he couldn't see Jesus because he was a short man. So he ran on ahead in his path and found a tree, climbed up the tree so he could see Jesus when he passed by. As Jesus was passing by, he paused, looked up into the tree directly at Zacchaeus, and invited himself over for dinner. Many in the crowd grumbled and complained, calling Zacchaeus a sinner. But Jesus said to Zacchaeus, "Today, salvation has come to this house." And then there was Nicodemus, a religious leader, who approached Jesus under cover of darkness for fear of being ostracized from his community for talking with him. Many of the religious elite despised Jesus because he ran contrary to their ideas and expectations of the Messiah. Nicodemus, to his credit, knew that Jesus came from God because he heard his message and saw the miracles he performed. Their conversation culminated in one of the Bible's most recited verses, For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world might be saved through him. So whether you approach Jesus from a place of desperation, conviction, or curiosity, or you approach him quite by accident, what's important is that you approach him nonetheless. Jesus is calling you. He loves you and has a remarkable plan for your life.